What's up? In this video, I'm going to answer some questions that were sent in. And cool thing is we just hit 10,000 subscribers recently, so we now have the community tab opened up on my channel. So that is where I got these questions. And thanks a lot for anyone who sent in questions. I'll continue to put more stuff on the community tab. So if you do have a question, look there. I probably have a thread open and I'm replying back to everyone and even doing videos just like this one here. These are all sort of all the questions are in the context of Amazon affiliate sites, or at least an affiliate site type model. So keep that in mind. There's one or two that are more general, but I'm gonna go over 3 questions today. Here's the first question sent in by Amin. Amin is struggling to have faith. His site is 1 year old with 35 articles, and he says it's helpful content. They're 2,500 words a piece, and he's only getting 300 visitors a month. He says he's, quote, not lucky. So that's the first question we'll get into. Next question from L. Smith. This is about what to do after you launch your site. So she has posted her first 10 articles. She can't figure out what to do next. And she's trying to develop a following on Pinterest. And she's not sure if she should publish more content or what to do next. And the final question was just around procrastination. And before I get to the questions, I will tell you that it took me about 30 or 40 minutes to even start recording this. I had my notes here. I've been looking at the questions, preparing, and then I thought, I'm gonna make some tea before I get started, because tea will be a good thing to have. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play guitar for a minute. I think it'll be fun. It'll be a way for me to just kind of wind down, get ready to shoot these videos. So I played guitar for 15 minutes. So procrastination is real, and everybody has their own particular flavor of what they do. I know one issue that I have working from home is that I will clean stuff. Aside from the guitar, aside from just normal distractions, I will clean, which feels productive. So I'll sweep or I'll mop or clean the bathroom and do laundry, household chores and stuff like that. When the grass is growing, I'll cut the grass, any number of things that can distract you and also are semi-productive. Those are the worst because they do need to be done, but you're putting off work. So it's real for everyone and it's a little bit hard to deal with. So how do you cope with procrastination? Usually for me, if I have a deadline, then I will work really hard to hit the deadline. The point is, if I have a deadline, I will focus hard and do whatever it takes. I will ignore things that I used to think were important or those chores that I was describing and focus on the task at hand. So if you don't have an actual deadline from a boss or a client or some other thing, then you have to set your own artificial deadlines. And it's kind of a fight of willpower and discipline. So if you are struggling with the willpower and discipline to stick to your deadline that you set for yourself, it may be worthwhile to tell other people, right? So if you tell your friends or maybe your peers or your spouse or whoever is relevant, at least at that point, someone else is relying on you to do what you said, and you potentially, right, you're gonna feel a little shame if you don't do what you said you were gonna do. So tell a few people if that is sort of a motivating factor for you to have an external source, and you'll feel shame. So you could tell other people. Sometimes you could set up a negative penalty. So you can donate money to a charitable cause that you don't support. One that my wife would choose is our rival, the University of Georgia football team, the athletic team. She said she would donate to something from our rivals. We went to Georgia Tech, so we don't like UGA folks, sorry. So those are a couple tips for procrastination. And I mean, the thing is, if you're not into whatever it is you need to work on at a particular time, you may just need to take a break, go outside, walk around. And sometimes when you take that break, you will find that you are a little bit more motivated to do whatever it is that you need to do. But remember, set a deadline, tell other people, maybe set up some sort of penalty for yourself. Most of the time, a penalty is going to be more effective to get you to do the thing that you're putting off than some sort of reward. However, if you try those other three things, and maybe you want to set up a reward for yourself. So if you finish or accomplish a certain task, then you get a bowl of ice cream or something like that. Whatever you want to do. Let's go back to Amin's question. So this is a site. It's about a year old, 35 articles, lengthy content. He says it's high quality. So first of all, it means like if you've been doing an affiliate site for about a year and you're not getting much traffic, like 300 visitors a month, and you have exactly what Amin is mentioning, you've made a mistake somewhere. So there's a number of failure points along the way. Like anything that is worthwhile to do, there's a lot of failure points along the way. However, you may be okay. Now, I'll sort of describe some of the failure points you may hit. You could have picked a bad niche, right? You could have picked a bad category of products. Maybe there's not enough searches. Maybe it's way, way too competitive. Maybe, it's just something that it's going to take more time than 1 year. So that's one aspect, right? So you could have picked something bad. At that point, you may need to find other keywords or products that you can still have on your site that are either less competitive or more searches and that sort of thing. So let's assume it's a good set of products. There's plenty of searches and all that stuff. So let's assume it's good. Amin says the content is high quality. He says it's really good. I can't remember the exact wording, but there's a chance that he's wrong. So it would maybe be worthwhile to have 1 or 2 outside parties read it and make sure it's actually good. I can't tell you the number of times where someone said it's really high quality content, it's long form, and I just can't figure out what's wrong. And then I go have a look and the grammar's terrible. There's misspelled words and it reads poorly, right? It reads poorly and I could just see that without reading it thoroughly. I just take a look at a paragraph. At that point, the whole site is suspect. I'm just thinking, well, if there's a couple of mistakes here on the about page, for example, there's a pretty strong chance that there's a lot of mistakes throughout. And this person, not picking on you, Amin, specifically, but I've seen several different instances where someone said, hey, my site's great. It turned out it wasn't great. It was actually pretty terrible. And they just thought it was good. All right. So if you think it's good and you haven't checked with an outside party, you probably need to check with someone else. Ask your friends to have a look. Ask if you're not a native English speaker, have a native English speaker hire someone to read it and have a look and let you know if it's good or not. The other part of the puzzle here. So first, if you have a decent niche, we'll assume that's good. If you have decent content, we'll assume that is good too. Then you may have to look at the competition level. All right. So the competition level does matter, and maybe it's highly competitive and it's going to take, 18 months to really have more traffic and see some earnings. So if it's really competitive, you got to keep that in mind. Longer timeline, maybe the quality is good, but it needs to be great. Maybe 2,500 words is good, but it needs to be longer. It needs to be 4,000, 5,000 words. And from there, you have something more competitive. You can at least be on par with your competitors out there. And finally, I think the fourth thing that you need to look at is backlinks. So this kind of goes hand in hand with competition. So if you look at your competitors and your content is on par and you compete on that level, have a look at their backlinks. If they have a lot of backlinks, then you probably have to do the same. You have to go out there and spend time, networking. If you don't want to build links specifically, you have to spend time networking, be on podcasts, be on YouTube channels, do something so that you can get some traffic, get some backlinks to your site. Finally, all is not lost, all right? So you have a site, there's some areas that you could look at. Even if you have a set of keywords or a niche that isn't awesome, you still have some leeway to improve there by finding other products, finding other keywords that are decent. The thing is, you're getting 300 visitors a month, so you're doing something right. And it's a matter of breaking the whole thing down, finding out where the traffic's going. Does it go into specific product pages? It's probably only a handful, right? If you only have like 35 pages, I bet most of your traffic is going to like 1 or 2 pages. Look at those pages, figure out why they're getting more traffic than the others, and then you can sort of repeat what is working. All right, so something you're doing is working. You just have to figure out what it is and then replicate it. You don't have to replicate it, 33 or 34 times. You just have to like do it one more time and then do it one more time after that. Break it down into small pieces that you could accomplish. So don't think I have to rewrite and redo 35 articles or 33 or whatever. Just do one more and see what happens. See if you can get more traffic on those pages. Next question from L. Smith. This is what to do after you launch your site. You have 10 articles published. She's trying to build a following on Pinterest and she wonders if that's the right thing to do and what to do, when to do the next sprint. Number one, I don't do Pinterest. So if you're building an Amazon affiliate site, I find that the traffic from Pinterest doesn't convert that well. They're not as interested in buying as they are just reading something and pinning it, putting it on their board. I'm not a Pinterest person, so I'm probably a bad person to ask. However, here's the deal. You should probably spend time doing like outreach and networking and guest posting. Don't worry about Pinterest. I don't think you're gonna get high quality traffic from Pinterest. That's up for debate and I'll tell you the caveat in a second. But basically, I think you should go out there and try to get backlinks to your site. How many should you get? Probably about 10 or 15, like do follow backlinks, guest post type situation there, all right? Once you get those 10 or 15 links, publish some more content. The caveat for Pinterest traffic is if you have a site, right? I don't know 100% if you have an Amazon affiliate site or some other kind of site. So if you have a site where you're gonna have ads, right? You're gonna show ads, maybe it's AdSense, maybe it's Mediavine or one of those other ones. Traffic from Pinterest may be great. So if you can set up a system to build up like a traffic source from Pinterest, great. If you have ads, it's probably gonna convert all right. You'll make good money. I have a friend, John over at fatstacks.com, and he primarily focuses on like ads on his sites, not Amazon affiliate sites. So John has a lot of traffic coming from Pinterest and ads seem to convert pretty well for him. Again, I'm Doug Cunnington, founder of Niche Site Project. If you're interested in learning the niche site process as I describe it, follow the link in the description. You can download the whole guide as well as all the templates that I use for creating a site, outreach, finding keywords, all that stuff is for free. So all you have to do is sign up, put in your name and email address, and I'll send it to you. If you have questions too, be sure to subscribe to the channel, go to the community tab, and there's probably a thread in there. You could ask your question and I'll probably answer it. If it's a good question, I'll probably answer it.